Welcome back to Lights, Camera, Whatever. This is Teacher Ray here. We are jumping into episode 7 of Wavemaker on Netflix. It does have English subtitles for you listening out there, you native speakers, and whatever native speaking country you derive from. I'm from the U.S. Welcome to Taiwan if this is your first time. And what we're going to do is jump into the description of the Wavemaker episode 7, kind of brainwashing that name here so you don't have any excuses. You're like, what is he talking about? So Wavemaker episode 7, do it again. It says, as Wen-fang's team races to track down a suspicious viral post, a reckless Ya-ching scrambles to cover up a damaging secret. Okay, what we do. Number 1, should AI accounts be forbidden? Wow. Because right now, guys, they have these things called, I always teach my students not to say things, but sorry, students. It's called digital models, right? I saw this a couple weeks ago. They have these digital models that are digital, but they look very realistic, and people are following them. Like, the people are liking the picture. They could be sexy, could be handsome, but they are not real. They are AI models. Now, talking about the first question, AI account, if it's kind of automatically generating news, okay, that's another conversation. But if it's just generating someone is actually designing the model's clothes or designing the digital products design, I think that's a little bit more acceptable. But if something is just kind of taking information and just kind of circling it like automatically and sharing it without really screening the information, because I think in Taiwan and US it's illegal to spread misinformation, I believe. In most democratic countries it's illegal. Should AI accounts be forbidden? I think they should be forbidden for the accounts that are not really analyzing and screening what's being posted instead of letting it run by itself. I mean, unless you create an algorithm or system or infrastructure, whatever the word is, to make sure this AI account is posting safe material, not misinformation material or something that could damage the public based on its, appearance to be authentic. I think that, yeah, there should be some laws that should be enacted to kind of, be a little bit more serious about this, because AI is coming, guys. It's coming. The NVIDIA is coming, AMD is coming. All these GPUs and processors are going to be able to push this information out faster and faster than you can even blink, right? And then one thing I always say, what Denzel Washington said, is not, it's who's first. It's not if it's true. It's who's first. If you're first, people are going to look at the information, whether it's true or not. So remember what Denzel Washington said. It's not about who's true. It's who's first. So should AI accounts be forbidden? It depends on the actual type of account. And sometimes I think it's kind of having some type of AI model, whatever, that's kind of based on you as a consumer, as someone who has no life. You're just watching digital AI models. You probably should go see the doctor. But if it comes to political information, then that's a more serious issue, because when you're looking at AI models or AI things, that's your right to look at it. If you believe it, that's totally up to you. But if it's come to, I'm going to stress this word, when it comes to misinformation, yes, it should be forbidden. Now, number 2. Oh, this is a tough one. Should netizens be fined or banned for spreading fake news or misinformation? Piggybacking off the first one, you should. I mean, if you, and this is not about the AI, this is humans, right? If netizens, Wang Ming, I think in Chinese, are intentionally spreading misinformation and fake news to influence a certain group of people, you should be fined. And another thing, probably, I think the Taiwanese government should go even further. Maybe they should ban you from the internet for 2 years, right? I mean, probably you can do your banking things and your online things. Of course, you have to live life. But if you're doing something very, very severe where it resulted into like a protest, some politician or political figure was actually hurt or shot because you posted it, you need to disappear, because you're spreading fake information. It's not real information. So you definitely should be banned from using the internet. And in addition to be banned, you should be paying a high fine. Definitely you need to pay the medical bills of whoever got hurt, because it's wrong. You're spreading misinformation. You're spreading fake news. You know it's fake. You know it's wrong, but you're still spreading it. So you should be fined a very high penalty. And there's nothing really to discuss about it, because actually with the speed that information is coming out, especially the older generation, and guys, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this part. If you're doing something and you're doing it intentionally because you know there's a certain group of people that will believe it, but it's a very evil activity, all I'm going to say is what goes around comes around. That's all I'm going to say. What goes around comes around. If you're doing evil things, just be careful. Now, if you're spreading information that you really, really thought was genuinely true, that's another conversation up for debate that should be under scrutiny and investigation. But if you are intentionally spreading fake information, there's a lot of questions, and there's a lot of questions we need to be asking you. First of all, why are you doing it? What is your intended purpose long term? Because the thing is that once a page has been fined, I think that website should let them keep going, but it should leave a permanent marker on the page and say they have a record of spreading misinformation. And that way, it's kind of too embarrassing for anybody to even go to your page, because there's a marker that the website has put, or like a watermark that shows that this page has spreaded misinformation. So there's a lot of things that websites can do, and of course the government can do. They can just shut down the whole website. But it depends on if this. Now, if you're in Taiwan and you're getting fake information or misinformation from the United States, that's a whole nother question, because it's hard to block the news from other countries. But internally, Taiwan government can shut it down. So should netizens be fined or banned for spreading fake news? Absolutely yes. Number 3, if one of your parents wants a divorce but has no evidence, would you help them? It depends, guys. If like my dad was like beating on my mom, like, hurting her and hiding everything, I would definitely help my mother. First of all, I have zero, agreeing to domestic violence, right? I hate it. I don't like it. Like, first of all, you shouldn't be hitting a woman. So if that was the case, if you talk about evidence, I would help my mother do that. I would, if I was like a little, because I'm a man right now. So if my dad did it right now, I just deal with him myself. But as a child, you're too small. So I would do my best to, record and then send to the police and then show the evidence and say, hey, like my mom is in trouble. But if one of your parents wanted to divorce, but there was no evidence, it would kind of depend on the situation. If it was a situation where like they're arguing all the time and they're disputing all the time, couples do fight, right? And actually you should stop calling it fights. You should call it a disagreement, right? You should call it we had a minor dispute. But when you say the word fight, right, you're actually giving power to the negativity of that situation. And I think that if we rephrase words and we rephrase how we look at certain angles or perspectives of a certain situation or circumstance, then we could actually look at things differently. So let's go back to the more positive words. Say, for instance, you have a disagreement with your partner, but it might be a quite loud disagreement. Then, that's something that we don't need evidence. You guys need to talk it out, right? You guys need to talk it out. But if there was some very, very severe wordage, some people call it words, that were said like, oh, I'm going to steal your money, I'm going to steal all your information, I'm going to steal your bank account if you don't do what I say. This is very, very evil. This is evil, and you shouldn't do that to your partner. First of all, you shouldn't even be partners with someone. It's like, I'm going to steal your information. I'm going to take everything that you own. I don't care if you're my husband. That's evil. Now, I probably wouldn't try to help with the evidence, because if they're talking about that and I'm a child, I have no idea what they're talking about. But if I'm a little bit older and I do understand, I would definitely maybe not fully help one of my parents, but I would, slightly help in a way that, helped in a big way. But I just, would be low key about it. So if one of your parents wants a divorce but has no evidence, would you help them? Like I said, guys, a lot of these questions are based on the context of the situation and the severity of the situation. So for this question, I really hope you guys leave your comments and suggestions, because I want to know what the audience is thinking. Not just what I'm saying, not just my opinion. What are you actually thinking? And that's the point. So if one of my parents wanted to divorce the other parent, I would first discuss with them. I would talk with them. I would sit down with them and say, hey, like, why do you want to divorce the other parent? I mean, because it gets to a certain age where parents are like, they can't run from you anymore, right? They can tell you to sit down in your room and be quiet and say, hey, mind grown folk business. But when you are a grown folk, the statement doesn't matter anymore. Like, because I have my own company, I have like my own kids. I've been through divorce. So you can't tell me at this time in my life, stay out of grown folks' business, because it's just weird. It's like, wait, I am a grown folk. I have my own issues. I have my own problems. I understand, but I'm talking to you as a man. I'm talking to you as your son. And if you want to avoid the topic, then you're not helping me help you. You're avoiding the situation. And that doesn't help anything when someone is avoiding the situation, because I'm really trying to open up and say, hey, I really want to help you. But, you know, the other partner, whether it's the dad or mom, wants to leave you. So help me help you. Now, if you don't care, then you just keep doing what you're doing. Because sometimes people really don't care. They say, oh, divorce. But guys, divorce is expensive. So that's why you guys need to be more cautious about who you're marrying and who you're trying to spend the rest of your life with. This big E word called eternity. And I'm going to say there is real love out there. I think you can really be with someone your whole life if you've made a very conscious decision and communicated everything out that you should have communicated and discussed the proper issues and the financial situation and the kid situation, house situation. And if you talked it out, guys, there's not much room for mistakes unless someone is really lying, you know, in the relationship and saying that they love the other partner. If everything is talked out, it wouldn't even get to the point where I would have to, need evidence to get divorced. So the thing is, like, we could stop these things early, right? We could stop these things much earlier so it doesn't have to really get to that situation. Now, number 4, should paparazzi be fined or put in jail for invasion of privacy? I do not like paparazzi. They're just leeches. They're just out here earning money and doing what they can. You know, they're like shooting these pictures when these celebrities are getting right outside the house. You know, like that's crazy, guys. Come on. You can't even let this guy get to his car. You can't even let him go eat. You know, you can't let him be with his kids. And I mean, how greedy do you have to be for money to bother someone in their life when they're trying to get away from all this, right? They're trying to, live a life with their family. But you are just literally snap, taking all the pictures. Oh my God, he bent over too low today. Maybe he has a back surgery. Maybe the company stock should go down. Or this celebrity was in a nail salon. Like maybe she had a hand surgery. Like, maybe she needs and the thing is, it's like I said with Denzel Washington, it doesn't matter if it's true. It's first. So if I post the news and says like, oh, Brad Pitt or whatever hit his wife, look at Angelina's eye or something. But this was right after she came from a baseball game and got hit in the eye. But I said Brad Pitt did it. It would just blow up like that, right? Because I'm first. Oh, I can't. And then, right now with Instagram, they make these words. Oh, I can't believe Brad did that. And it's so annoying, right? Because like they'll leave the sentence like that and they say, oh, Brad Pitt did this to his ex-wife. I can't believe it. Scroll below. And, they're wanting you to scroll because of advertisements. So it's funny. It's sad and funny at the same time. But back to the concept of paparazzi, that's why there should be some rule in place, because they're literally taking people's private life. So I think they should be fined or put in jail for that. Number 5, should political slogans be trademarked so they can't be used? Guys, we have to do this. We can't use the same exact political slogan, even if it was 3 terms ago, right? Even if it was in 3 terms. That means 12 years ago, right? Guys, creativity. Don't use the same. And this is not just to Taiwan. This is to U.S., whoever's running in the U.S. for whatever mayoral, presidential. Don't use someone else's slogan, because you don't know what you probably have history about what that person who used it said, but you don't really know that person inside the White House or in Taiwan, the presidential palace. You just don't know. So it's better not to use slogans if you don't really know the deep, true insight of this individual who used to be a politician, now who's not, or who still is. but that doesn't give you right to use the same slogan. So I think they should be trademarked and not be used again. If you can't find new words to attract your audience, something is wrong. Now, number 6, this is a very, very, very difficult question. And when I say difficult, I mean it's difficult not to laugh. Now, which one is your favorite stir fry or izakaya? Guys, that is top down, easiest question of my life. I love izakaya. I never had, okay, I'm American. We have barbecue, yes. We have all type of barbecue all the time. But izakaya, guys, this is a dangerous place. Because they got all this type of food on a stick that can get to your table within 5-10 minutes, plus alcohol, right? And, stir fry, you got to get a whole big dish. You got to get a table of dishes, right? First of all, I don't want to eat that much food. Izakaya, they always usually come out with like 2 sticks of whatever you're eating. And you just eat that, right? You eat what you want. You go pick it, right? But stir fry, you got to order it on the menu. I like when I can physically look at my food and see what I'm about to eat. I love izakaya. I will always love izakayas. Especially in Japan. If you get to Japan, it's totally different izakaya. So that would be my answer. 7, in a world where people repost and ask questions later, what would you do if gossip and negative news was spread about you? Oh, man. I don't know, man. I don't really have a lot of patience for that. Like, I would just text a person and be like, hey, why are you talking about me? Like, I didn't do anything to you. You do have rights to spread this information. But if it's misinformation, I probably have to sue you because I literally did nothing to you. And I don't know why you're being so evil to me. So that's a whole nother conversation. It's like, why, when people are just spreading gossip about you and you didn't even do anything, right? Like I said, in the question, it says, in a world where people repost and ask questions later. So this is actually goes back to this is the second question, intentionally spreading misinformation, right? So in a world where people repost and ask questions later, what would you do if it was gossip or negative news? I would have to confront that person first, print screen my every interaction, because right now you got to have proof for everything you put online because people delete it, or someone that they could be friends with or very powerful owns the website. You never know. I would repost it on other platforms. Immediately, I would repost it on other platforms before they try to knock it down and delete it and it doesn't exist. Because that's what these websites, they're literally hiding certain information, and that's where you got to protect yourself. So if it was me and it was gossip and negative news, I would probably talk to the person and message the person privately before I attack publicly. I would just say, are you sure this is true information? And are you sure you want to attack me? Because literally I did nothing to you. Why are you against me like this? So I would kind of confront the situation head on. Head on means directly. Number 8, should first ladies be given more respect? Now, I don't know in Taiwan, but in America, like, there's a lot of respect for Michelle Obama. A lot of respect for Michelle Obama. I mean, it's actually, people are walking around saying that Michelle Obama is smarter than Barack Obama, who's the actual president. And in general, even if not, first ladies should be given more respect. They are the first lady. They are the wife of the president, right? Now, I don't know who. Well, yeah, there is a male president coming in the next Taiwanese term. So maybe we can ask him, like, hey, like, are you going to make your first lady, more But anyway, even if she didn't want to be famous, when you are the first lady in Taiwan or the U.S., you're going to be famous. You're just gonna be, because you're the president's wife. You're the leader of this country, and you're his wife. So, but back to the question, I think they should be given more respect. And when I sometimes say respect, I mean like either 2 ways. You should highlight more of their, life achievements without marrying this person. And second, you have to respect who they are, guys. They're women, first of all. And second, they're the wife. And third, the president who's deciding the future of your country has to go home and sleep next to this person. You should be supporting this person. This person should be your best friend because they could be impacting the president's decisions every night. And while you may be hating on this person or not liking this person, this is a very, very serious issue because they are the first lady, which means that they are directly in the ear without any doubt or anything. Now, last one, right, says number 9. It says, Mom and Dad, are you really happy? Now, this is a question because a lot of times as kids, we can't ask too much. We may see some domestic violence or see some domestic yelling. But usually parents will, some parents, and I guess in my generation, were really, really good at hiding things. I've never seen my parents fight in my life, which is very weird. They've never argued. So it's really hard to know if they're happy or not. But as you get older and become, into your own relationships, that's an S because I'm talking about from middle school to now, you date different people. You kind of realize the facial expressions and the actions and the silence that couples have to let you know, either this is, almost done, or this is something that they can work on, right? And so that's why I said, Mom and Dad, are you really happy? You got to talk. And guys, we have to talk to our parents. We can't be kids forever. Talk to them. You might be able to save their marriage. You never know. Never know. So talk it out. Are they really happy? You have to find out. Stop guessing. And guys, that is episode 7 from Wavemaker on Netflix. Please go check it out. And this is Lights, Camera, Whatever. See you in episode 8.